It's January 16th, 2022. I just had an epiphanous moment of Three King. Perhaps would be helpful. I know if I go back to the movie last night of Last Duel, and should be so forward as to use the word my liege or my lord, but not the one that I saw that calls himself such, that in high fluency. Sometimes the silent lord is the one, and that doesn't go around flaunting the label on his everyday wear in first name and surname for France to England. I have the man who came to the St. John's Episcopal Church gave me a pin in 1988. And it was spelt a certain way. And then there's the other Jean, which I know is important in my, however, I am here at the moment when Mark King, or Niklaus, or whatever name he decides to go by, when he was there to make sure that the flag was installed in Kregler's classroom by the chalkboard, and that we did the pledge to witness in the registrar of the logbook in Dutch schoolhouse tradition. There was, in that time, when he said to me that he wanted me to dress up and not to look so casual or informal, which, again, these words I did not know. I always had a lot of questions, because, again, Lou and Linda don't speak to me, not much. Conversation was not their thing. Lou used to read books sometimes, but not of important literacy or understate. So when Mark asked me to wear, he asked if I could get dressed for school the next day. I did. I wore a red tartan headband and matching whatever Linda had bought with a skirt. And of course I sought out approval. I'm like, is this what you meant? Like, I mean, I don't, again, you find a family member, you don't want to let go. Especially when you belong to them and you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing and what they said is what you're actually able to pull together. So, then I realized Jean is what, as a teenager, when Mark got taken away, there was no reason or person to dress up for. Got really sloppy really quick, because nobody gives a shit what you wear, what you look like, if you stand up straight, if you die. It's like, they're like, we'll keep her alive. But, like, I mean, again, so, jeans became popular, Jean, and then they add an S, but I don't want the S adding to jean to then become like a run on the word denim, D-E-N for the I-M, from, I don't know how to speak to an MP or an I-M, but as an RM of sorts, I'm not even that fluent. These books used to be called Mead, was the brand name, M-E-A-D-E. It's very important. They used to be black and white also. There was no color to them whatsoever. Nowadays, when you go into one of the stores, the Mead brand is more difficult to find. 'Cause it's more costly, and they made a cheaper brand, which it says on this one Rite Aid and Home Office Composition, which perhaps is why I slid to the red for the moment, since the black and white Mead on I have no income coming in, and this was somehow obtained. I no real whatever memory of it at the moment, of the exact time and date, but I know that there's significance in that. These things of the brand is supposed to be one way, and then the slipping in of a cheaper option or a option that then takes away from the brand has been an ongoing problem as the whatever has been tightening but difficult. This is what's called a jean. I have two colors, black and blue. I wear white on like rare occasion, and not at this size. When I'm thinner, I'll wear a white jean, but at this size, it just whatever. So this is what a blue, and it even says 9 West jean. And then this one happens to be a Jordache in black. So again, both of these jeans were donated to me. I couldn't afford to buy either one of them. So thank you. I know who my old hairdresser Stacy was kind enough. She donated both of these to me. Clothing wise, she was always so good because she knew that I didn't have clothes, and she had a whole closet full of clothes that she enjoyed purchasing. So anyway, so this is a jean or a jean. The Americans call it a jean. But this is what, after the informality took over and the casualty took over, because the word casual is what this dress is referred to. This is casual. And then it's usually indicative of casualty in the... I'm referred to the planet that I entered in 1978 as almost like a crime in process, or like a crime scene that I was like, whoa, I didn't do any of this. This wasn't me. I just arrived, and I am trying to figure out how to handle it. And that's how I've lived every day for 43 years. Looking around going, and relying on Lynn and Lou for some form of answers. Now, Lynn actually Pearl of Wisdom by accident, which is how the information in this nothingness is gone. She says, she's talking to my Aunt Jackie. Now, in New York and in my life frame, I don't believe that, like, voting or registered, I think there's a Privacy Act where you can't just look up. I mean, I wouldn't, there's no, and that's like the other thing, like, is it a paid for service to have to find, like, in order to find if somebody's a registered Democrat or Republican, if you wanted to do like a purposely profile and targeted like advertising campaign, but then does that strike out against other rules because you can't profile or target people and whatever? Like, again, this is the crime scene that I entered. I didn't set it up this way, and I wasn't a part of it, and I wouldn't have agreed to it, but the humans had some operation going on before I was forced into false witness or real witness or extraterrestrial alien from alien nation. I'm in safety capsule that doesn't feel so secure and safe. This is the my like, and again, it's not regulation because I haven't been blessed with knowing that level of human or extraterrestrial or alien, but this is the best I could put together for some kind of solidarity, and like, this is what I was told to pledge to, and whatever was told in the schoolhouse, which now abruptly has changed, which scares me, but I don't know if it's for the better or not, but that's how poor my communications is. So anyway, so Lynn says, I know what they're registered as, which is why I'm like, la la la, I don't want to know. You and I don't see eye to eye, and you're not my cup of tea, you two. Lou's more reachable, though, I find. Lynn's a little hard-headed, we'll call her. And doesn't tell a story and can never seem to get the details right, jumps to all the wrong conclusions. But I think that's a hard wiring and soft wiring within the environment kind of an issue. I don't necessarily, I mean, her flesh, it's a problem, but whatever. So I've been trying to diagnose from arm's length, and it's one of those silent things you don't talk about outside the house. So, here we are in. She mentions that one of my uncles, one of my 6 uncles, has an appreciation for Trump, but his wife doesn't. So Lynn and his wife, since they're whatever, the same level of follows the demolition crew, they talk. But I said, well, and Lynn's like, why don't I just take Nicole and you could take her for a week and she could spend some time with you and you could see what kind of crazy I have to, like, deal with. And I said, actually, could I come over? That'd be really nice because I'd like to spend some time with my uncle, because my uncle follows the pledge I was supposed to be pledged to, and perhaps he's got a better repertoire than it's like the Pierre de Resistance en français. Again, Circuit 1383, and then Scotland 1386, I believe. Somewhere in that sundial is something really important at my. I'm really off course, and I don't know who to reach out to in actuality, because then there's the Crimes in Process Unit, which has some friends in some false narrative places, and they're getting confused at the windmill and the grist mill, and then the billing department, and then how you cash in on the bills, and then the distribution of that. It seems like the whole process seems to be disrupted somehow, but in the wrong. I mean, again, it was a crime in process before I got here. I wasn't appreciated enough or loved enough in this world to have been brought in safely to a part of the family business. Although Nicklaus, last time I saw him, promised that he would, and I thought we were going straight away to wherever his family business was, but unfortunately he left me again with Lynn and Lou, and then the Romer 1976 thing happened, and so again, and then that tail just blew out and grew and became a real problem. But it's like there's a localized problem, then it's like nano, and then, which Roman just do nanu, but it used to be nano, and then today also they were saying something about collections, and then like to be a collector, and then not to be a collector, and I'm like, whoa, that's like an independent, like, big red flags of caution blinking at me this morning on Sunday morning. Lou and Lynn right over their heads. But again, there's a problem with wiring in the electric city. Um, so I'm not sure how that works. But also, there was like a Ghostbuster-ish moment where they're they were looking for eels this morning in some riverbed. It was like really gross. I was like, oh my god, that's so gross. But they were shooting electric volts or something, some word they use in science professionals, into the water to coerce the eels out so they could catch them. And when I looked, they had like the electric thing was on a backpack, kind of looked like a Ghostbuster type, but not like proton packs, right? They were just calling it electro something or other. It was interesting, especially since I'm still getting electrocuted for real in the streets. My calcaneus and heels show sign of it, as do my joints that crack in the articulation within the synovial fluid of the joints. So there's really no clean source or line of what I was told to pledge to for special white glove marriage at some point, and the square dance that I was left amongst with no white gloves and at respectable things. And then I don't know how one keeps on top of like the most pertinent communication lines when even the interior of my home has been completely rerouted, but not by my own hand. It might look like that in hindsight, but it was forwarded in this dangerous direction for reasons I can't explain. Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It is Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. It's January 16th, 2022.